the question that I have for today about forgiveness and deal breakers. So how do you know as a man when you deal with females that your deal breakers, just like a job has ground for termination, how do you determine what your deal breakers are and if they're realistic or not for a woman to meet? Does that make sense?
Right. Well, this is the thing is that you gotta look at why do you have your boundaries and the deal breakers, right? So you say to yourself, listen, this is a deal breaker if the girl does A, B, and C because I don't like D. I don't like this thing, which is why I don't want this to happen. Or this is why if a girl does this, I'm not fucking with it. And it'll be realistic if your outcomes or what you want to happen in your situation is realistic. You understand what I'm saying? So, for example, if you're like, listen, it's a deal breaker for a woman to be, have an attitude and be uncooperative with me and, be disrespectful because I need a woman who's going to respect me, cooperate, and listen to my directions because I need a woman who's going to be a part of my team to help me do this type of shit. Right. So you're saying I want something to happen. I want this thing to go down, and that thing you want to go down is realistic. So therefore, the deal breaker is not unrealistic. You understand what I'm saying? Because what you want is realistic. You see what I'm saying?
Right, but here's the right. I understand what you're saying to a certain extent, but is it as far as because since women can be emotional, for example, like you've been with your wife for a long time, a number of years.
Right.
Has she ever did anything to like be disrespectful towards you or did not cooperate with you?
She's done stuff where she's done stuff where I had to check her. But what I'm saying is that there's a difference between having to check a chick and her basically doing something that's a deal breaker. You understand what I'm saying? So that's two different things.
Right. So she never So she never broke any of your deal breakers.
Right. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Like that's never happened. You see what I'm saying? But again, this is why you vet a girl, because if you vet a girl for that year and a half, right? That's consistency within how she's responding to you. So within that time, if she was going to do something that was against your boundaries and that was a deal breaker, she would have done it already. You see what I'm saying? And then therefore she would be a girl.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So at that point, when she is your girl, there ain't gonna be her doing a bunch of that crazy stuff because you already vetted her. You see what I mean?
Right. Okay. I think I understand for sure. So, okay. All right, cool. Thanks, my brother. I appreciate it.
Yo, caller, wait. Before you go, what I need you to understand also is you really gotta these questions that you're asking, you really gotta ask yourself these questions. That's the most important thing. Right. You understand? Like you have to really get in touch with.
I'm sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm just saying that you really gotta get in touch with your value. Like, how old are you, real quick?
I just turned 30.
You just turned 30. All right, and how many have you been in long-term relationships?
Yeah, yes, I have.
How long? What's the longest your long-term relationship?
Not long-term relationships, but a long-term relationship.
How long?
The longest that was 6 years.
6 years. Okay. So, and did you learn anything from that? Did you get a chance to really understand what you like and what you don't like when it concerns to like relating to a female?
Yes, I do. But that's the reason why I called in and asked, how do you gauge as far as how to, set realistic boundaries? Because, for example, let's say that if I wanted a relationship with a woman, right, long term, and I have a deal breaker if she gets a nasty attitude or disrespectful. I mean, a lot of women, from what I understand, and from the men that I've talked to that are in long-term relationships, all say that at some point in time that their woman has gotten nasty and disrespectful to them.
Nope. You know why? You know why?
To the point. I just
ahead.
want to say right quick, even to the point, even when they checked it and said, like, you know, quit with that bull job or whatever, they did it persistently, or they did it again and then again and again. It may not have been like back to back to back to back, but throughout the relationship, they've gotten nasty. And so to me, that's like, I get the message as far as, damn, well, it's probably unrealistic to have a
nope. See, that's what happens. See, that's what happens when you're on top of your game. Because listen, let me say something real quick. The reason why that usually happens is, one, because those women were disrespectful and nasty to them before
in the beginning,
a girlfriend, and they still made them the girlfriend. That's one. Or two, let's say they weren't like that, and then they became a girlfriend. They probably made them a girlfriend too quick. Or three, let's say they did take time, and then everything was cool. The guy in the relationship, while he's in the relationship, the boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, he did something that he sort of either stood off his square, or he fucking did some other weird shit, or he was inconsistent that made her be disrespectful towards him. See, you got to understand something about women. Women get disrespectful towards men sometimes because the man ends up being weak.
Yep.
His weakness causes her to be disrespectful. Why? Because she starts to get scared. And when she starts to get scared, she starts to get disrespectful. You understand? It's like, you got to understand something. It's like if you ever see like you somewhere and a cockroach comes in and this girl screams, or somebody screams and they try to step on it or whatever, or a mouse comes in there screaming, whatever, and they try to, you know, hit it or catch it in the trap, whatever. They start going crazy because of fear. And they're trying to stomp out the cockroach so that shit can be done. So when you become weak, they're stomping you out with disrespect. You understand? Because they're scared. This is what I'm saying. So a lot of times what happens is that because that dude fell off his square and he started doing some other weird shit, or he's inconsistent, that causes it. So a lot of times when you are vetting a woman, that's a training process. If you vetted a woman long enough and you've done it correctly, and she starts to become accustomed to what it means to be with you, and then you give her the opportunity to be your girl, then it's like little to no way that she's just going to start disrespecting you and then continuously disrespecting you. It's almost damn near impossible. The disrespect happens usually because the guy wasn't doing what he needed to do in the first place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because understand this real quick. Understand this. The woman, if a woman loves a man, she fears losing him. So if she's going to be disrespectful, she should have the idea of the thought process, or just the knowledge of saying, damn, well, if I disrespect this guy, I might lose this nigga. So let me not disrespect him so I can keep him. So if she's continuously disrespecting you, knowing she can lose you, you understand? That means that she didn't see no value in you anyway, because she don't give a fuck about losing you at this point. You see what I'm saying? But Miles, you look like you're going to say something. I ain't want to cut you off.
No, I just wanted to say that I noticed something about what the caller is saying. He said, how can I set realistic? How can I be realistic? You understand? And here's what I get when I hear him say that. Caller, what I hear is that your issue is that you're trying to figure out how to set boundaries but still keep the bitch because you're afraid of losing the bitch.
Right.
That's really what's going on. And the point is that your values and the things that you require should outweigh losing the bitch. You should always be ready to lose the bitch. You should always be ready to lose the bitch. So as soon as she do some shit and you check her and you see that the check-in ain't working, she's gone. A lot of you cats, that's your biggest fucking fear, to lose a chick. Let me tell you something. When you die, you're going to die alone anyway.
Right.
You understand? As a man, you're going to die alone, period. There is no comfortable space. There is no safe haven for a man, period. That's why that's what gives me the right to be a fucking chauvinist or a misogynist or whatever the fuck they want to label me from me saying what I say. Why? Because I already know that everything is my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I don't have to listen to a fucking woman.
Right.
Because listening to a woman is only going to put me in danger anyway. Because at the end of the day, even when I listen to the bitch, it's still my fault.
Right. Exactly.
So whether I follow my own mind as a man, it's my fault. If I listen to the bitch, it's my fault. So no matter what I do, it's my fault. So I'm going to listen to me from the beginning anyway.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So you can never be afraid to lose a chick. Never. So you're talking all this, oh, well, you know, how can I set realistic? No. What's real to you is the only thing that matters. So if she fucks with your boundaries, she's gone. Period.
Right. Facts.
So if you say I need a bitch to stand on one leg and fucking pat her head like this and sing the Star Spangled Banner, fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck out of here.
Facts.
Get the fuck out of here.
I love it.
There's no such thing as realistic boundaries. You talking that realistic shit because you worried about losing a bitch over something that's not a big deal. If it means something to you, then it's the biggest fucking deal there is.
No, that's not it. I mean, I think that's pretty inaccurate, bro.
Please enlighten me then, nigga. Go ahead. Please.
So would you agree, for example, that we think in pictures? You would agree with that, right?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So if I have a picture, let's say like, okay, you said you've been with your chick, I think you said 18 years. Locario's been with his chick, you know, for I think over 15, right?
Right,
so
right.
If I have this image of what I aspire to do, and that's to have a long-term relationship, then that's where my questions is pretty much stemming from. It's not losing the woman. It's what do I have to do, or what pieces do I have to develop in order to get to where I aspire to. That's where that comes from. And I understand at this point in life that deal breakers and boundaries are important to that, you know, to that piece, like that puzzle and whatnot. So that's like where my, you know, questions stem from.
So you're saying you want to see what you can do to keep or to cultivate a longer term relationship. Is that what you're saying?
Right. You know, right. Exactly. In the context of boundaries and deal breakers, because if you think about it, when you go to a job, jobs ask people to do things that's not necessarily out of the normal, right? Like as far as like get there on time, you know, do your work, or you know, they never ask you to do like you know, extra shit or whatever. It's pretty simple. So, but with this and boundaries with women, admittedly, like I don't know as far as like what my boundaries should be, because I'm not in a position like you or Miles to where I've dealt with a long-term chick, so I wouldn't know.
But
so
this is what I'm saying. But we're telling you though. Miles literally just told you. This is what we're saying. We literally just told you. Okay. For example, I went on a date with a chick once who just came out of jail for holding some bricks of cocaine for her ex-man who's still in jail. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So his thing was, my girl is gonna hold these bricks. You understand what I'm saying? And she did that, and she did jail time for that nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So what we're saying, what Miles is saying, what we're saying is that whatever it is I need her to do, and whatever it is the boundary that I have, that's what I have in place. So if like, for example, like what's that restaurant?
You know, I just thought about something, but I'll wait.
What's that restaurant, Miles? Chick-fil-A, right? Don't Chick-fil-A say to have to own a Chick-fil-A or be part of the franchise, you got to be a Christian or some shit?
Right. You got to be an active member of your church.
Right. Exactly. That's their shit. That's their boundaries. That's their thing. You got to be like, you can't get a Chick-fil-A franchise unless you're an active member of the church. You understand what I'm saying? Now, they could have been like, oh, man, you know, but there's not a lot of Christians out there and blah, 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 or we're not going to make a lot of money because what about the non-Christians? They don't give a fuck about that. This is their shit. And that's how they run their shit. Same thing when you're dealing with women. This is how I run my shit. This is the boundary. If you cross it, you're out of here. And what happens is that the reason why she stays is because she sees value in you and she don't want to fuck up because she don't want to leave. You understand? It's that simple. See, I think you're missing the part of you being the value. That's the part you're missing.
That's what they're always fucking missing.
You see what I'm saying? That's the part you're missing because you're like, oh, but what if, how do I know that it's realistic? Whatever is realistic to you is what's realistic. You understand what I'm saying? Now we're not talking about nothing crazy like jumping off of a bridge and flying in the air like a superhero. We're not talking about that, but we're talking about if you say, listen, I want my woman to be doing A, B, and C. And if you cross the line and go to D, E, and F, you're out of there. It's that simple. And then all you do is find a woman who's going to do A, B, and C. That's it.
Right. You know what? I just thought about something, and maybe this will help frame it in a better way. So, you know how, for example, so the thing is, maybe it's not realistic. It's more so increasing your chances as far as, here's what I mean. So the picture that I want to paint is you have, for example, people who, let's say this guy over here, he may want a woman who makes like over a certain salary a year. Now that's realistic to him, but at the same time, he's like shrinking his dating pool to only like a few certain women or whatever, right? To where the women outside of that preference may have like characteristics about themselves that he fucks with, but he may lose out on that, in increasing his chances just because of that one thing. Does that make sense?
Right. But so what though?
So what, bro?
So just find
again, caller, you can't fool me. You are afraid. You are afraid. Because you're sitting there talking about you aspire. You talking about, well, I'm not in the situation that you and Mario, and because you guys have been with your women for a certain amount of years, and that's what I'm inspired. You see, here's an issue with you. The thing that you're aspiring to is the same thing that you are afraid of. Because the reason why it's hard for you to find a bitch to keep long term is because you're afraid you might lose her.
That makes no sense at all,
bro. Okay, let me ask you a question. With your example, could you not find a woman who's not making that amount of money and then get her to make that amount of money?
Wait, what's your question, Locario? One more time.
Could you, with that woman who's in your example, you said you want a woman who makes a certain amount of money, right?
No, not me. I'm saying I was using an example.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm just saying I'm saying for the
in the example, it's an example. Yes.
Example. If you say, well, I want a guy says, I want a woman who makes this amount of money, right? But there's only this amount of women who make this amount of money. So you're saying he's shrinking in his pool of getting that type of woman, correct?
Right.
Right. So now he can either go get those type of women or why don't he find a woman who's not making that money and help her get to the point of making that money? You see what I'm saying? Why can't he do that? So what I'm saying is that you're saying, well, it's not realistic because what you're looking, answer me this. You're a data guy, right? You look at statistics and data and all that other bullshit,
90 seconds.
You said, do I look at data and statistics?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. I knew it because what you're saying is that you're attacking or you're moving forward in the game with already the mindset of you're not creating the situation you want. You understand what I'm saying? You are you're being a victim to what's happening instead of creating your own shit.
He's a victim to the circumstances and he's not thinking about creating his own.
Right.
No. It's more so like for me personally, and from the people that I noticed, most of the people that I noticed around me, it's just that with this particular thing, a woman gets nasty and disrespectful. I mean, it's just.
But that's always. But this is what I'm saying, bro. We just told you.
Right quick. But right quick, and the thing is, for me as a man, I'll admit I'm not on my P's and Q's all the time. I feel like that's damn near impossible. I mean,
okay, all right. You're done, bro. You just said I'm not on my P's and Q's all the time, and it's damn near impossible for me to be. That means a woman is gonna disrespect you all the time. That's all that means.
Seconds.
No, I mean the only one who's on his P's and Q's all the time is God, bro. That's the thing.
Nigga, bro, you coming into the game with a loser's victim mentality. You're coming into the game with a loser's victim mentality, and that's what I meant when the reason why you use the word realistic. The reason why you use the word realistic is because you're already afraid of what you don't have.
It's possible. So you're telling me that it's possible to be on your P's and Q's 100% of the time. That's what you're saying.
Of course not, bro. Of course not. But I can't sit there and think about the times that I'm not. I have to focus on when I am.
What are you trying? What, bro? That
I cannot sit there and focus on not being on my P's and Q's and sit there and say, well, it's damn near impossible. I have to focus on when I am.
Time. You just said I can't be on my P's. You just agreed that I can't be on my P's and Q's all the time. But yet you said loser's mentality. Like what?
No. Like, what? No, this is what I'm saying, brother. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what we're saying is this: you're missing it. You're missing it. You're saying that, okay, you're saying that these women have an attitude. Okay. Why do they have an attitude? Give me the reason why.
Well, admittedly, like you said, like us guys, sometimes we stand off or get off our square, and then it happens. And then you do have those women that are just legit, just on some bullshit. They're just disrespectful by nature.
Okay. So now
find something to be disrespectful about, whether they're able to treat their father that way.
Okay, so hold on.
That way,
hold on. Okay, so now. Okay, so now you got the women who are disrespectful because they just so far gone. You're not going to talk to those women, correct? You're not going to deal with those women, correct? Right. So they're out of here. We ain't got to talk about them. They're done. They're finished. You understand what I'm saying? They're done. They're gonna. What Kevin Samuels say? They're gonna die alone. Whatever. Right. So now you got the other women who they are going to be respectful to you, right? And they are going to be respectful to you because they see value in you. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So now
you got those times where they get on some bullshit. Right.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. But they get on that bullshit because of why?
Again, even them, they can get on bullshit because you're not standing on your square.
Okay,
or they can get on bullshit.
So why?
Maybe they're just feeling. Maybe they're going through something emotionally, and then I don't know. You get in the way of their bullshit.
So this is what I'm saying.
I have seen that happen.
So this is what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that if you are not, why are you not on your square? That's what I'm saying. Because if you know this, then why are you not on your square?
Because I can't be on my square all the time. I'm not perfect.
We're not talking about being perfect. Being on your square is not about being perfect.
Most of the time,
bro.
Most of the time, I would say I'm on my square. I'm cool, calm, poised, or whatever about my business. But sometimes I may not be on my square.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Do you work? Do you got a job?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been working at this place?
So far, I just started, so it's been about 3 weeks.
Okay, so the job before that, how long you was working at the place before the job you had before that?
About 3 years.
Okay, now for those 3 years, right? Is that company still up? Is that company still in existence?
Yes.
Okay. Did that company pay you every 2 weeks? Every time they were supposed to pay you, they paid you your check, right?
Right.
Every time you had to go to work, the place was open for you to come to work, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, the company had all this shit popping. Were they perfect? Did they ever make a mistake? Ever?
I will say they let me get away with some shit on my job. Yes.
Okay. So now, So basically what you're saying is that company was on their square because they paid you every 2 weeks. They was always open when they were supposed to. They were doing the things they were needing to do. They were doing it on a consistent basis. And even after you left, they still exist. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is what we're talking about.
Right.
You don't have to be perfect. But what we're saying is that you have to stand on your square, because if you're not on your square, that's where the disrespect comes. Because guess what? If they would have 2 weeks, if 2 weeks would have gone by and they came to you and said, hey, man, we're sorry, we forgot to do payroll. Something happened with the money. We can't pay you these 2 weeks. Are you just going to sit there and take it? Or would you probably be upset?
I'd probably be upset about that.
Okay, so now when that job says, well, why is this guy so upset? He has an attitude and he's always has these attitudes and these employees. Is that because of you?
I mean,
or is it because of the company?
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Right? I see what you're saying, Locario. But the place that I'm coming from is that even though they were doing what they were supposed to do and paying me every 2 weeks and whatnot, and this, that, and the other,
right? I
still was able to do and get away with shit on my job, not because of the company, because I may have got on some bullshit. But that's besides the point though. That's besides the point. The point is that they were doing what they were supposed to do. You got paid every fucking 2 weeks, so you never came to them with an attitude talking about where my check at, what the fuck is going on, blah 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 blah. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is because they were on point with what they needed to do, you never came at them in a way where that was telling them, hey, you fucking up. You understand what I'm saying? And got an attitude. So what I'm saying is that when you're doing what you need to do, what's going to happen is you're not going to have a bunch of bullshit where a chick is consistently being on some bullshit with you. Women are going to have situations where they're fucking moody, where they they're being emotional because they're women. That happens. They're women. You understand what I'm saying? But if a woman is disrespecting you outright and consistently disrespecting you, you fucked up. That's what we're saying. Because for the fact that she's even in your presence to disrespect you means that you allowed her to be in your presence to disrespect you. You understand what I'm saying? Right.
So that's what I'm saying, where if you did everything you needed to do, you trained her, you freaking vetted her for what she needed to be vetted for, and the things went down, then you gave her the position, she would not be doing all that bullshit if you also stood on your square. That's all we're saying. And it's not about being perfect and being this like perfect type of dude. It's just that she sees the consistency within you to understand who she's fucking with. What happens is this, you got to understand.
This is most of the time, right?
But this is what I'm saying. Most of the time, if you're on your shit, this is what the type of shit that'll happen. But the thing is,
most of the time,
right?
Stop with that most of the time shit, man.
But this is what I'm saying. What are you talking about, bro? Let me ask you a question. What's the longest you ever been in a relationship? What's your longest relationship?
6
years.
Okay. And what happened in them 6 years?
What do you mean? As far as what?
Like what? Like was she disrespecting you all day? Like what happened?
No, I mean it was cool, but towards the end, it got a little bit disrespectful towards the end. I'd say maybe like the last year or two.
Okay. And so what I'm saying to you, bro, is that you had 5 something years of her being chill and everything being cool?
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
And sometimes she did get on some bullshit.
Okay.
Because she had her own like anger things to deal with.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So
and then sometimes I may have received that just by being around or gotten away, even though it wasn't intended for me. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. So this is what I'm saying. What you're doing is you're trying to get some sort of like answer that's going to alleviate any type of bullshit in a relationship that doesn't exist. What we're saying to you is that what we're saying to you is that if you're a dude who's on point, who vets a chick, and the chick sees value in you, what's going to happen is that you are not going to have those situations where you're getting a bunch of disrespect. And understand this, because you're saying, oh, I know these guys, and all of them are saying that this. Understand, most niggas ain't got game, bro. Most dudes don't understand this shit. Most guys don't stand on their square. Most guys are pussies. Most guys are beta males. Most guys let chicks walk all over them. You understand what I'm saying? So just because you've heard this from a lot of dudes, you're supposed to hear this from a lot of dudes. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes supposed to be on that shit.
Colin, let me ask you real quick. You didn't experience none of those crazy anger attitude things from that girl within the first 6 months?
The first 6 months, I believe so. I may have experienced it maybe once.
And do you remember checking her early? Do you remember checking her early?
Yeah. Yes, I said yes. I do. I remember.
You remember checking her early. So that means she continued to do it again for the next 6 years. Yes.
On and off. I mean,
okay, yeah, exactly, motherfucker. You chose to stay with her for that fucking long because you was afraid to lose the bitch. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Right, because when you're
talking about right there, that bitch, you should have got rid of that bitch after the first year, because if you vetting a chick from 12 to 18 months and she's still showing you residuals of the shit you checked her about in the first 6 months, she's gone.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on, time out. But if it's
nigga, bro, y'all none of y'all motherfuckers, how you calling me for advice and trying to
Go ahead. What are you gonna say now?
I'm just saying. I'm saying if most of the, because I'm trying to get the concept of what you're saying, because you're basically, it sounds like what you're saying, because she did it every so often, that's grounds for termination.
Yes, it is.
Nigga.
You ever hear 90-day period? 90-day probation?
Right, 90 days, but that's 6 months.
No. In relationships, it's a year and a half probation. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we keep telling you. You have to vet her for a year to a year and a half, and she has to be consistent for that year to year and a half. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we're saying. So what happened is that you was with this chick. She was showing signs of disrespect from within 6 months, and you continued to fuck with her. You understand what I'm saying? You graduated her to girlfriend after she done showed you she wasn't worth being a girlfriend. She didn't pass the test.
Okay.
How long between when you started dealing with her till when you actually made her your girl?
Man, you're talking about when I was 18, 17. So probably, I'll probably say back then within the first 3 to 4 months.
That's what I'm saying. You made her your girlfriend in 3 months?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm 30 now. This was like when I was like 17, 18 years old.
Okay,
no. I'm sorry. 17, right. 17, 16.
You were 16 years old. You had a girlfriend and you made this girl your girl in 3 months. That's what we're saying, bro. It's like all these different things. And she was disrespectful to you in that time. So, of course, that's a recipe for disaster right there.
Right. Like disrespectful as far as like, even though it had nothing to do with me, she had her own anger shit.
Nigga. Fuck. Why are you making excuses for this bitch? Bro, you're 30 years old now and you're still making excuses for this hoe? What?
I mean, Miles, hey, if we want to call it how it is, because I just literally listened like, this had to be maybe a few weeks ago when you talked about your chick, and you specifically said like your chick did shit back in the day that really like fucked your head up and really got under your skin, and you still dealt with your chick. So, and now you're telling me like if my chick get disrespectful every once in a while to cut the bitch off, why didn't you do it?
Nigga, do you know all the details of my relationship?
I don't know all the details, but we're talking about in the context of disrespect.
In the context of disrespect, nigga, you want to know how many times I left my bitch? You want to know how many times my chick did get cut off, nigga?
Right.
So you saying you charged your chick to the game and then came back?
Yes, I threw her to fucking Siberia. Yes.
And then you came back.
No, she came back.
No, nigga, what the fuck? You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Oh. Why would I come back, nigga? That's what we try. See, you got to understand, caller and everybody watching right now. This is the type of shit we need you to understand about mindset. Notice what the caller said. He said, "Oh, you charged it to the camera, then you came back." If you had a similar or correct mindset within this frame, you wouldn't say that type of shit. You would already understand that I charged her and she came back.
Right.
Because I am where the value, I'm the source of the value, guys. And that's the part that you guys always forget.
Maybe I did mishear a video that Locario made, because I thought you advocated that when the chicks disrespect you, and then like when you cut her off, you don't fuck with her again. I thought that's what you advocated for or promoted. So maybe I misheard.
You got to understand there's difference. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you okay? You hear people say
exactly. This nigga's cherry picking to try to prove his fucking point. Nigga, you're a victim. You're a victim with a loser's mentality, and you need to do some work to change your shit. And that's the truth. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you, but you have a very victimhood mentality, bro. And right now you're trying to cherry pick between Locario and myself and the videos that we've done in the past, so you can fucking try to disguise your point as valid, bro.
I mean, I call bullshit on that one. All right.
Look. This is what you're not understanding. See, when you understand game, you have to also understand context, my brother. You got to understand. I've talked about this a million times. So what I'm saying is this: a person can say, "Don't steal" or "Don't kill" because it's wrong, and you say, "Yeah, that makes sense," right? But then somebody has your mom in a headlock with a gun to her head. And another person says, yo, you got to kill that dude who has a gun to your mom's head. When are you going to be like, well, didn't you say in that other video that killing was wrong? Nigga, in this context, you need to shoot that motherfucker. You understand that? Different context calls for different situations, for different things to go down. So it's not a blanket thing all across the board. You see what I'm saying? So you can understand the context of what we're talking about.
Okay, let's ask a caller. So within the first 3 to 4 months, when 3 to 4 months when she was being disrespectful, did you cut her off and let her come back to you?
Yes.
You cut her off and she came crawling back to you.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
So if that's the case, why would you say to Miles, oh, you came back to her? Why would you say that?
I was just fucking with Miles.
See, no, just get out of here. Get out of here. We got to go to the next caller. This guy's on some goofy shit. Let's go to the last call. Thanks for watching, and to watch this entire live stream, make sure you click the link below or go straight to patreon.com/mr.locario and join the $20 tier so you don't miss any of the game in these live streams that I do during the week.